Welcome to my channel, Sonia Unapologetic. My name is Sonia, and on this channel, I talk about mental wellness and living a free life from a Black woman's perspective. And we just also talk about Black women living their dreams as well. So before we go any further, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to be notified every time I post a video and every time I go live. We have a very special guest here today, Torie Lee, the writer and director of the film Why Women Trip. I am so honored to have her here speaking with us, the Unapologetic Tribe. Welcome to the channel, Torie.
Thank you for having me, but I have to say something.
Okay.
Direct the film. I'm just the writer and the producer. So my good friend Snoop Robinson, he directed it, and another good friend of mine, Tamika Scott from Escape, she co-directed as well. And then I had Rock White also co-directed. So I had a director and two co-directors. So
That is amazing. I saw that and I think somewhere, I don't know if I saw that you had directed it, but I also saw that Tamika Scott and Snoop Robinson were
yeah.
part of this as well. So that is amazing. So I'm gonna, even though I gave a little bit of introduction, I'm gonna let you introduce and tell us some more about yourself.
Okay. Well, again, my name is Torie Lee. I do have Why Women Trip is my baby. So I started Why Women Trip off as a short mini series, like a little film. Didn't like how it went. I didn't like the direction that it was going. So I decided to turn it into a stage play. Um, After the stage play, I had a couple people to reach out to me and wanted to turn it into a film. So turn it into a film. Uh, Also, this is what I do on the side during the day. I do work for I'm an independent insurance adjuster, and I also work for a mortgage company. So that's just a little bit about me. I'm really a homebody. I like to stay in the house. I like to relax. I like to write, and I just like to enjoy being alone. I like my me time.
So it sounds like you're an introvert like me.
Kind of, sort of, but I do get out. Now, when I get out, I get out.
Yes, yes. And so I was looking online, like I said, I saw that Tamika Scott was also one of the directors. Okay, how did that come about?
So, funny story, long story short, so my friend Snoop Robinson and I, we had went to Atlanta to go and meet up. We had a couple meetings in Atlanta about the film, actually. So when we went to Atlanta, Snoop and Tamika's husband, they're friends. You know, we're all friends or whatever. So it came about because she actually came out here with her husband to support him in being in the film. And then, hey, she just kind of like, hey, can I direct a couple scenes? And we were like, yeah, let's do it. So it kind of went, in that direction. And we really totally enjoyed it. Like, she is really about her business, and it was awesome. Like, it was amazing. So I really enjoyed everybody's direction, but it was really, really phenomenal. And I appreciate it. I really appreciate her.
And who are all the I guess name some of the people who are part of the film and the cast?
Oh, okay. Let's see. That I can recall off the top. I don't know if I can personally name everybody, but if I can, I got the flyer in my head. So in my mind, I see Ashley Rios, who's the main character. She plays Zori Johnson. So, oh, let me add this to the film. The film is based off of my true story. So it's based off of my life events. So some of these things in the film really did happen to me. So you have Ashley Rios. She portrayed Zori, and then you have Mama D from Love and Hip Hop. You have Claudia Jordan. Then we had Peter Guns,
Mhm.
just kind of visualizing the flyer. Low London. And then we had Miss Row Girl. And who else did I have? Draper Winston, Callie Sante. Uh, I'm
And
trying to everybody's name. Hold on once. Paige McClinton. Oh goodness. Andromeda Jones. Oh goodness. Roche Moore. Uh,
you're doing really, really good because I think that's
Everything, and think of everybody that was in there.
yeah.
I said Draper Winston already. Rock White, he was in a production team. Uh, and just bear with me. I'm trying to think of everybody. I don't want to leave anybody out. Matt Harlan, don't want to leave him out. Gee Willikers, I'm leaving some people out. Jarek Tucker. Uh, who else am I leaving? I feel like I'm leaving quite a. Snoop Robinson was actually in the film too, so I can't leave.
That was
Chris,
amazing.
yeah, Chris Norman was in the film. He's part of the production team as well. Lucretia, I cannot forget about my friend Lucretia Johnson. Then we had Celebrity the comedian. Um, oh goodness, Chris Deshay, can't forget about her. I said Andromeda, Missy Lee. I'm just trying to think of everybody that, and I'm forgetting someone. I know I am, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But I'll come back to it because I'm forgetting somebody. What is
But
his
you
name?
had such an amazing cast, a lot of familiar faces, just me being familiar with the independent film industry here in Dallas. It's funny, Draper Winston was also in my short film, Desperate Chocolate Chanel Story. So he
Oh,
was the
okay.
character Latavian. So yes, he is just such a joy to work with. But one of my subscribers, I did a live stream, I guess like a week or so ago, and I was telling them about certain films to look out for. And one of my subscribers was like, I heard of that film. She's just like, Claudia Jordan was talking about it on Fox Soul. So I
Yeah,
know
yes.
my subscribers already, and they're going to be very excited to just to see us, speak about more about the film. Okay, how well, one thing I want to tell you this, I was at the stage play as well. So when you did the stage play, I went to see the stage play as well. So it was really, really good.
What play did you go to? Did you go to the first one or the second one? Because I had two of them. So
Okay. And
hopefully you went to the one at T-ball. Because if you went to the one at T-ball, then that's the one that it was. Yeah, I kind of
I'm
in
trying to remember where it was located, if it was at T-ball.
it. Yeah, because I had one at T-ball, and
Okay.
like in 2018, I want to say, and I think the one prior to that was in South Dallas at the Hall of State in like 2017. So I
Okay.
had the Hall of 17 and then 2018.
So I may have went to the one in 2017 because I don't think it was at T-ball.
Yeah, so yeah, then yeah, you missed a treat. The one at T-ball was like, yeah.
Okay, I bet you that was nice because I think I remembered if I would have went to T-ball because I always remember when I'm going to T-ball, like the turn to get there, I'm always like, I missed my turn.
Oh
So
yeah, I always miss my turn to go there. Always. Yeah.
so that being said, I think I will remember if
Hmm.
I went to one T-ball. So I'm pretty sure I went to the one in 2017, which yeah, but that one had Mama D, and that one also had the guy from Silk in
Yeah,
it.
we went to the one in 2017 for sure. Because Mama D, she's in the one in 2018 as well, but I wasn't able to get Little G because he was on tour at the time in 2018. So
Okay.
yeah. So you went to the one in T-ball. I mean, not at T-ball, but the Hall of State.
Yes, yes. So that was just amazing. Okay, so with the film, that's out right now, how long did it take from you guys starting to film all the way through like the end of editing? So how long did that whole production process take?
Okay. So as far as filming, so what we did is we filmed 4 weekends straight. So we did like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so it took us the whole month of October.
Okay.
And then we had a trailer out in like November-ish, I want to say. And I dropped the official trailer on my birthday, which is December 23rd. However, we were finished editing. Snoop edited the film as well. So shout out to Snoop. Snoop does everything. So Snoop edited the film. And then after we edited, we had to get the film scored. So Marcus, he scored the film. So that took about maybe another three weeks, maybe tops at that. But from beginning to end, I want to say a couple, maybe 3 to 4 months, but maybe not that long.
Okay, that is actually really, really good. And when you say October, you mean October of 2022 or 2021?
21, and we released it in 2022.
Okay, okay, wow, that is but yeah, 3 or 4 months that really for everything that you guys had going on, you guys had a lot of actors, the
Mhm.
editing was really good, just because I know that process can be so long,
Yeah,
because it's not just, the filming, it's all the editing and getting everything together, so yes, congrats on that. Where can people see the film? Where is the film available for them to view?
so right now the film is streaming on 3 platforms. It's on Tubi, it's on Amazon Prime, and it's on Vudu. And we're from what I was told, it's gonna be dropping on some other platforms here pretty soon. So as soon as I get, as soon as I know, I'll go ahead and make it public. But yeah, as of right now, we're looking for it's gonna be dropped on a couple more platforms.
Okay, that is amazing. I was able to see it on Tubi, so I watched it while I
Okay.
was in Mexico. So that was a treat. It kind of made me feel like, oh, this reminds me of Dallas, and even being all the way out there. So that was pretty amazing getting to see it. So you said that this is based on your true life stories. How did that go about you deciding to go ahead and write this into a script? How was that whole process?
So okay, it all started, I want to say maybe around 2016ish. My friends and I, we were doing a podcast, and we were interviewing some guys that are in the film industry. And during our break, one of my friends had told them, it's like, she has like an interesting story. And I was like, what? And they was like, why don't you put it in the film? And I was like, oh, no, no, no. I will never, ever, ever tell my personal business. And then I told, and so during the commercial, I was letting them know what was going on in my life. And it's like, yo, people like drama. Like, it's like drama sales. You need to get into it. And I was like, nah, nah, nah. And I was like, I watch enough of this TV on Monday nights and all that. So I was like, nah, I would never do that. Then I just decided, I was like, you know what, let me write it and let me see if I'll like it. So I wrote it, and I was just trying to write a short version of it, like 30 minutes. And then I wrote it, and honestly, it was okay. It was good. Like the quality, everything was good, but 30 minutes just wasn't enough for me to tell my entire story. And some of the editing wasn't, it was kind of off. So I was like, nah, let me just, try to do it as a stage play. So
Mhm.
that's when the stage play came about. That's how the stage play came about in 2017.
Okay. So how did you feel? Okay, you wrote this and it's based on your true life. How people in your family and whatever, how did that go over? Did you get any calls like, really? You putting this out there? Or how was it
You
dealing with?
know, it's funny that you say that because now my family would, they all knew what was going on, but it was a lot of my exes that called me and like, hey, you left me out.
Oh, wow.
Why didn't I get added? I was like, oh, you weren't really worth me talking about. But yeah, a lot of my exes, once they found out that it was, a true story, they were like, oh, you didn't add us. And I was like, nah.
That is so crazy. It wasn't guys being like, listen, you putting my business out there. It was guys saying by, hey, I screwed over you as well. Why didn't I get
Right. I messed you. I'm sorry, but I messed you over too. Yeah. It's so funny because I had one of my exes from, like, oh my god, like my teenage years. He actually watched it. He's like, he watched it twice, and he was like, I'm trying to figure out, like, how did I get left out? I'm like, I was a teenager dating you, so I had no idea what none of this was. So yeah.
That is so funny. It's so funny when, as a writer, when you write something, you say based on true events or whatever, everyone's thinking like, okay, that it's verbatim what your life is. And
Right.
every kindergarten teacher, every kid on the playground, everybody's like, oh, well, that character has a different name, but I know that's me. It's like, it's funny that everyone thinks that
Everybody thinks
you're going to be involved.
everybody.
That is too funny. The guys from high school is kind of like, where was I in this film?
Sure.
So did you have any, okay, you talked about that you did have reluctance about it.
Mhm.
So for so none of the guys who had a role in some heartbreak. None of them felt any kind of way about no, was there anyone who felt like, okay, I didn't really want to be a part of this?
Not to my knowledge. So I had I'm very transparent. So I've been married twice. So
Mhm,
one of my ex-husbands, he did call me a few weeks ago, and his only when he knew I was doing this film,
mhm,
he had a pretty good idea that he was going to be a part of this film. So his only request was, "Hey," because he's from New York. He's like, "Make sure whoever portrays me is from New York." And I was like, "Wow."
mhm,
So yeah,
mhm,
I definitely made that happen. I was like, "Oh yeah, I have to find somebody that's definitely going to play you that's going to be from New York." So it kind of worked out, you know. But he kind of knew because his story was like really kind of like took me over the edge. Like
mhm,
some when I tell my story to people, they be like, "You ain't killed yourself?" I'm like, "For what?" It's like
mhm,
there's no way. A lot of men come to me and say that. Like no women. It's like men.
mhm,
They were like, "How? Like how?" Because a lot of women would have broke down. I'm like, "No, I just gotta keep. I just gotta keep going."
mhm,
But yeah, that's the only one person that has actually reached out to me
mhm.
and asked me about him being in the film. And the other ones, no, I don't. Let me think. No, no, nobody has said anything.
Which I think that that's, because it's, even though other people are involved, it's still your story. It still
Yeah.
happened to you, and so you still own that
Mm-hmm.
story. So, and then
Hmm.
also makes you feel like it's like, dude, everything you put me through, you better not have nothing to say about.
Right, right, right. At all.
Yes, I guess. Okay, well, one thing I'll talk about now is just kind of, it's not necessarily about the film, but just kind of your thought process about when women are done wrong just by so many different men. It's like it really does, change you. Even the title of this film, it's Why Women Trip, and so it provides that explanation for, okay, this woman is not just tripping out of nowhere. She's been done wrong over and over and over, and then it's like people will tell you, like, well, every man's not like that, so try it again. But
Right,
then when you try it again and it goes wrong again, it's almost like people blame you because they're like, well, you chose five men who did you wrong. It's like there's a lot of victim blaming around that. So tell me why you feel like this film is so important and relatable. I know that that's probably kind of a vague question, but I guess why do you feel like this is so important and relatable for a lot of women, or how can it help a lot of women?
well, my biggest thing is forgiveness. Like it took me a long time to forgive the guys that caused me that harm. It took me like I have like a lot of people don't know. Like sometimes I just go in my room and I shut the door and I just really think because it's like I have a lot, like I told you before, I have a lot of men that come up to me and like, gosh, like you didn't want to commit suicide, you didn't want to kill yourself. I'm like, no, I have a lot of life to live, and I'm going to continue to live my life. And one day, just one day, I'm sure that God will send me the man that is for me. But I want women to know that don't give up. Like I'm pretty sure that there is going to be, our true love is he's somewhere coming to find us. And even though I thought I found my true love a couple times and I was wrong. I like I said, I've been married twice, and I just wanted people, and I want people to get from this. Just forgive people that do you wrong, because in that film, when I showed that my cousin was with my ex, that was my first husband. But in the film, I didn't portray him as a husband. I didn't let anybody know that, right?
Mhm.
But that I'm married to that man, and my cousin, she did that to me, like, and that was so hurtful. Like I would do anything for them. And for them, for him and I to divorce, and then them to get married, like that took a number on me. That hurt me, and the one thing that I have noticed too is that a lot of these men, they were hurt. So when that term hurt people,
Mhm.
I believe that now because I'm a witness to that. But like I said, I just want people to take away from the film just to learn to heal and learn to forgive people because life is short. You know what I'm saying? So I used to hold grudges against the guys that done me like that, but now I don't, because I had somebody call me and was like, hey, I saw this one part of the scene in the film, like, why did you forgive that person for doing you that way? And I was like, hey, because I have to forgive people so that I can move on and I can heal and move on. But yeah, so that's one thing I would say is, and another thing too, because a lot of men were afraid to watch the movie because they thought I was going to be male bashing. I
Oh.
never do. I would never male bash anybody. It's like I wouldn't do that. So I just want the men once they actually. So I actually, to be honest with you, I have more men that have watched the movie and comment and inbox me, call me or whatever, and they tell me their thoughts. Like
Mhm.
more than women, like men thoroughly have enjoyed this film, and I was like, wow, because I mean, like I have. If I could show you my inbox, it's ridiculous. All the men telling me, I mean, and they're giving me I mean, like they're telling me, hey, I like at 2 minutes and 32 seconds into the film. I mean, they're like telling me every little bit that they really enjoyed. So I just want, and I really want to do the counseling scene so that people can go and get help. Like, don't just hold in, because that used to be my biggest thing is I will hold things in and I wouldn't, go and try to get any help. But I did try to go and seek counseling. I even tried it with an ex and my ex-husband, and it didn't work for us. But not to say that it won't, work, period. But it just didn't work for us. But I think, and to this day, I still think I need counseling because I just can't seem to shake some of the things that happen. But
Yeah.
I feel, and I am trying to move on.
Yeah, that is so important because on this channel we talk about mental wellness and
Yeah.
living a free life. So for me, I've been married, been divorced, and
Mhm.
there's just certain stages of my life to where I might go through counseling for a while and then may not do it for a few years and then think, okay, maybe it's time to try that again. Was there ever a time that you had totally given up hope and you're just kind of like, forget this? I'm just going to be by myself forever. There is no hope.
I'm at that stage right now. I
Mhm.
feel like that. Well, I met somebody that I really thought I thought I had met my best friend, my forever, the love of my life, and then things just kind of went left, right? So now I'm back to square one again, which is not it's not a bad thing to be back at square one because I feel sometimes I'm like, dang, I'm about to be 48 years old and I'm still out here single. But I've met women in their 70s that are still single and they're still looking. So I think that when in God's timing, it's going to happen. It's not going to happen on my. I always think things should happen on my time,
Mhm.
and that's how it goes. So
Mhm.
I'm just going to be patient, and I'm going to wait. And I do believe that my forever is going to come again.
Mhm.
And hopefully he's watching your channel.
Yes. You know what? That, hey, if a good man who wants to treat a woman right, if you are watching this channel,
Right?
reach out to me or somebody. I will get the information to Torie Lee.
We need some good men around here. But yeah, I don't think hope is gone. I
Mhm.
think there are some great men out there. But you know what I think? I think that a lot of these women have damaged men. And I was reading something on the internet the other day, and this one lady said, if my man can't pay all of my bills,
Mhm.
don't try to talk to me. And I'm
Mhm.
like, God, like, so we have this mentality now. So a lot of men are afraid to approach women because
Mhm.
women, they think that all we want is money. I had a guy call me a gold digger, and I'm like, what? Like, I am the furthest thing from a gold digger. I'm like, I've never been called a gold at
Mhm.
this big age of mine. I've never been called a gold digger. Like, that is not me at all. So I
Mhm.
was really shocked. And I think men just think that now. I think women, we have traumatized men. Like,
Mhm.
hey, I want you to, when we go on a date, you got to do this, 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 this. So I
Mhm.
think men are hurt, and I think we have to start rebuilding our men again and let them know, hey, we're not all about, like, women. We need to start letting them know we're not all about money, because a lot of these men think, and they're scared to approach women because they think that
Mhm.
all we want are these fancy dates. We want their money. We want their time. We want everything. So
Mhm.
there are a lot of good men that we are passing up on because of the stigma that, hey, all Black women want is money. Like, that's not true.
Mhm. that word is thrown around so easily, that gold digger word. I feel like that word is excessively attached to black women as well. Because I mean, black women, a lot of us just have a lot going on. A lot of us are working hard. A lot of us are doing our own thing. And
Mhm.
so I think a lot of times, because there's assumptions, that word can be thrown around very easily. Yeah, put a label on, like you said, you were labeled as a gold digger, and then you're thinking, I'm the furthest thing from
The
that.
furthest.
Yeah, so I think people get triggered. It's like something as simple as, a guy might, ask you out on a date, and then it's just kind of like, I know I asked you out, but are you gonna look at me to pay? If you do, you're a gold digger. It's just kind of like, okay, no, it's like, okay, you taking it overboard,
Oh,
because a gold diggers know what they doing, and they have a whole, you
they have
know,
a
agenda,
mhm,
it's like there's
mhm.
classes for that. It's like somebody, expecting that if you ask them out to pay for dinner is not I mean, she could be a gold digger, but that act in itself, and I think a lot of times guys might get triggered and scared and just like, okay, let me just
Back up.
run away over something, simple, that is, not meaning that the woman is a gold digger. But yeah, there's just a lot out there. And I commend you for being so honest with yourself when I asked about, hey, has there ever been a time that you've just lost hope? And you said, hey, right now. Because that's powerful for us to be honest with ourselves. Yeah, I think I got to a point. I think I'd given up hope. Right now, I feel like I'm on the other side of giving up hope. I'm at the other side of just, hey, I'm worrying about everything else other than dating. Someone said that hope is exhausting.
Mm,
And so that being said, it's like I feel like I'm on the other side of giving up hope, to where it's just kind of like, okay, I don't even think about hope like that. I don't even
right.
think about necessarily dating like that. It's just, I'm just focused on everything else outside of that. And if it happens to happen, it does. But if not, so I feel like I think that's beyond giving up hope. It's like that's just kind of like on the other side of it.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm there right now. Like if it happens, it happens. Like I had my eye like just I was just so happy. Just like over a year ago, like with how everything was going for me. Thought I met the love of my life, like everything, and it just kind of like
Mhm.
it's just it went downhill. And I think that the guy that I'm speaking of, he actually he saw the film after him and I broke up, and then he was like, now I see,
Mhm.
now I see, all what you were going through. So like, I apologize, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's just it's really hard out here to find
Mhm.
somebody that can be honest and is not wanting to play games. And I mean, because we're at a stage in our life is too short. We
Yeah.
don't even if we'll live tomorrow to see what our interview. You know what I mean? So I want to be happy the rest of the time that I have left here on this earth.
Mhm.
So
Yes. It makes me wonder sometimes, do guys, understand the magnitude of, and then women also with men, but like when you're out there dating, do you understand the magnitude of people who have been hurt over and over and over and over, and how much strength it took just to put yourself back out there? Do you think that guys really understand that? Because I feel like sometimes the least little thing we do is like, oh, she's crazy and whatever. And there's been times where I feel like I've lost my voice, to where it's like, okay, I don't want to make anything a big deal, because if I just kind of barely raise my hand and say, hey, I kind of felt like this when it's just kind of like, oh, you feel like what? No, man, you ain't gonna check me, man. I'm like, oh, wait, I'm not.
now what you meant, right? And I think you know what I think. I think that a lot of women, I think we're misunderstood. I
Mm,
think that a lot of men think all the men, well, the majority of men think we just want to nag and we want to have a reason to argue. And that's not true. Like if they just listen to us, you're like, you know what, this lady has probably been through X, Y, Z, and let me help her out. Let me listen to her. A lot of men are afraid to listen, and a lot of men, what I've noticed too, a lot of men are afraid to openly communicate. They
Mhm.
don't. They want to talk about their past traumas, and they need to talk to discuss their past trauma so that they can move forward. A lot of men are just so afraid to discuss that. So I think that's a big problem for our men these days, and they need help. And like I told one of my friends the other day because he was crying, and he's like, my daddy always told me,
Mhm.
don't never let a woman till you cry. I'm like, no, you have to let it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't bottle that in for the rest of your life. Because he called me crying and I felt so bad. I'm like, are you okay? He wasn't okay. But
Mhm.
he was like, I couldn't. He's like, my dad told me always
Mhm.
never to let a woman see or hear you cry. I'm like, no, 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 no. You have to let it out. Like, you'll never be able to heal from what you're going through if you don't let it out. But yeah, I think a lot of men they just misunderstand us. They think that all we want to do is argue, and it's so not true.
Yeah, and for me, it's like I want to know the real person, and so I think
Hmm.
people go into a relationship like, okay, I have to put on facade. She can't ever see me cry. She can't know my real feelings, and so I think the pressure of I think a lot of times people come into relationships living a double life because a lot of
Huh?
guys that I've dated, it's just like, okay, we're gonna date until I start to find out that your lies is stuff that you can't keep up with anymore. And so then you're just thinking to yourself, like, okay, this is not going to work because I don't know who I'm in a relationship with. And so it starts out with something as small as people normalizing, don't let a woman see you cry. So then it's just kind of like, okay, I can't be myself with this. Okay, well then I'm not going to tell her about this because then she's not going to like that. Okay, so then I'm just going to kind of live a double life
Right.
and just try to juggle that as long as I can, and then it'll just fall apart. And then when it does fall apart, then they're like, "No, man, you tripping." Well,
Right.
yeah, it's just it's crazy. But will you do any further movies that kind of dives into the relationship stuff like this?
Yeah. So actually, as we speak, I am working on the men's version. Now, of course, I can't write from a man's perspective, so I had to hire someone to write this for me because I'm not a man, so I don't know what they think. But what I did do is I put my ideas on a piece of paper and let him, let the writer know, hey, this is what I'm looking for as far
Mhm,
as that. I
mhm,
have I have so many scripts that I have written that
mhm,
I haven't done anything with. So I was like, you know what, this year I'm going, try to achieve a few of my goals.
mhm,
I, I know I want to put out at least one or two plays this year, and then I know another movie for sure,
mhm,
maybe two. I just can't for the life. I see people they put out movies like every other. I can't do that every other month. I can't do that because I want to take my time. And
mhm,
like me, for me, I feel like I left out a lot of the important stuff in
mhm,
my first film that
mhm,
I really, when I watched it, I was like, okay, I got to do something else. So I'm going to have to make that a series
mhm,
because I out a lot of juicy, important stuff. So I've been in my, I've been writing the
mhm.
series. Like I try to write an episode, maybe an episode a day or so. It just all depends on how I'm feeling and how my day is going. But if my workload is slow at work, then on
Mhm.
the side while I'm not working, I'm writing.
Oh, the
So
Why Women Trip series?
because it was a lot, I left a lot that I didn't get to. And then and let me add to that. Some of the stuff was in the script,
Mhm.
but we were very careful because we shot this movie in the height of the pandemic.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, so one Ashley Rios, she was on a major TV series for NBC, So and she was, she was flying down every weekend to film, and I didn't want to run the risk of her getting, ill, or anyone, but especially her at that time, because she's filming something very big for NBC. So you know what I mean. And they were, of course, they're COVID testing every day there. So I was like, you know what, we'll just leave a couple of those scenes out, and what I'll do is I'll just rewrite. I'll write a series, and then
Mhm.
I'll put that into the series. Like whatever I left out,
Mhm.
I'm gonna put it in a series.
That is exciting. I feel like you guys, you heard it here. Be on the
Oh yeah,
lookout. Why women
first
trip?
first time I've ever said it. So yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay, I feel so honored.
yeah, first,
So that is something that's very exciting, you guys. We have to support women in film.
definitely.
First off, make sure that y'all go to Tubi, or you said Amazon or Vudu.
And uh-huh.
So make sure that for Tubi, I mean that's free,
Free,
y'all. That
free.
is free. So you have no excuse not to watch it. And I
Right.
feel this is another thing that I like to do. I haven't just watched Why Women Trip once, I watched it several times. And
Mhm.
so there's just times to where I feel like when you're doing something and you've already watched it a few times, put that on again. If you if you have that on to where, okay, this is a time to where I'm gonna fold some clothes, put that stuff on. It's like there's movies that we watch over and over again, but when you watch an independent artist, films, that just means a lot, and that's how you can support for free.
Perfect. Oh, and let me add to that I was taking a nap because I had to prepare my day. I was like, okay, I know I got a 7 o'clock interview, so let me take a little nap. But I couldn't even nap because my phone kept ringing. It's like, what is going on? So they were telling me that thank you, Ball Alert has actually mentioned Why Women Trip on their platform today. And they were saying, it was like one of their top Tubi movies. So I really appreciate Baller Alert for giving me that advertisement. I appreciate that.
That shout out, thanks to Baller Alert. I feel like that's just so amazing. And I'm just, there's just a special place in my heart for especially Black women filmmakers who are doing the thing. And even when you are in the midst of having your regular job, it's like the things that's for real your passion. It's like you can still do that, because I think for me, I've made a lot of excuses of, it's like, oh, I have a job to do, I have this, I have that. Do how you feel like you balance having a regular job but then also your passion? Do you how do you what advice would you give to someone to how to balance that?
So for me, it's it can be a struggle, but it should be. For me, it's a struggle because I'm a procrastinator. So I always pray and ask God to give me the strength to stop procrastinating. I will know I have something to do 5 weeks ago, but I will wait up until that day to be like, oh yeah, I gotta do this today. So for me, it's procrastination. The spirit of procrastination is upon me, and I need it to be gone. Um, but I would say if you have a 9 to 5 that you're working and you're passionate about something else, make sure when you get off work, when you clock out, that you're focusing on your passion.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's an hour or two a day or an hour or two a week, whatever you make sure that you focus on you too. So
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes when I get off work, I'm like, okay, I said I'm gonna do this for this amount of time, or even on my lunch breaks. I actually um I had a I had a play that I did. It's called I'm Tired. And I did that play like 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I actually wrote that play on I wrote all the synopsis, and I put it because it was my story. So
Yes.
I put it out. I was writing every day on my lunch break. So it's really no excuse. Like I would literally sit at my desk and I wouldn't move. I wouldn't go get food. I would get food before or after lunch. But I would sit there and write. And I'm like, you know what? I want to have this done by a certain time. So I'm gonna sit there and write. If you're passionate about it and it's your vision and you want it to come to fruition, you're gonna do whatever it takes to get it done. So I mean that was me. I pretty much, if I'm on lunch, I'm working during lunch, I'm working after I get off work. When I find the time, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
So
Well, that is encouraging because I know for me, a lot of times I have procrastination going on. I'm just kind of like, do I have ADHD? Like, what is going on here?
The biggest procrastinator. I think I'm the biggest procrastinator in the world. My friends are like, "Oh my goodness, you have to warn me. Like if you want me to do something, give me a notice so that I can prepare myself because
Mhm.
it's gonna take me forever." Like today, I was like, "Okay, let me take a nap from." I had planned my day, so I'm gonna take like a nap from like 5 to 6:30.
Mhm.
And I couldn't go to sleep because everybody started calling me, "Hey, you on ball alert?" I'm like, "What?" I was like, "No, y'all know what you're talking about." So then I went to ball. I was like, "Oh, yeah, here we go." So yeah.
Well, you are very deserving of that shout out on Baller Alert because Why Women Trip was just done so well. The actors did an amazing job of visually, as a filmmaker, it's just like I'm gonna look at everything. It's like visually, it was done very well. The editing, I have to, give Snoop his shout out because just the techniques and just some of the things he used with the editing was done very well. Everything transitioned, everything was just very smooth and flowed very well. So I'm very excited about just your future things that you have to come out. Another question I have, I know that you've done some stage plays.
Mhm.
So what do you feel like you're more of? Do you feel like you're more so lean towards being someone who produces stage plays or a filmmaker, or you feel like now it's just both?
I feel like now it's both. Now I really, really love stage. Like, but prior to me even writing a stage play, I had never seen a stage play. So then I went to one, and I was like, oh my god. I mean, I was just like floored. I was like, oh my god, I love this. Like, I love the real time. I love the action. I love I mean, I just love everything about that stage play. So when I got home, I was like, I have to make this happen. I have to do a stage play. Luckily, I do want to say this really quickly. My 2018 stage play got nominated for one of the best stage plays in Dallas. So thanks to Women in Film and Television, um, they're going to have they're going to have an award ceremony. It's somewhere in March,
Mhm.
but my stage play was nominated, so I am very thankful for that, and
Mhm.
hopefully I own the award for best stage play.
Well, congratulations with that. I think that you have another like live stream interview, like maybe on Wednesday that I was seeing on the Lyft TV
Uh,
channel.
uh, Lyft, and so that's the women. The Lyft is they're called Women in Film and Television. So it's their award ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
So I was nominated for best stage play. I think it's like one, two, maybe like 5 stage plays that they have. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that when they say the winner is, I have my little speech somewhere. I'm just in case, just in case.
Do that. Yeah, do that. So we're like, oh my God, like for me. Yeah, you have to do
Yeah,
all
I'm
that.
looking forward to that ceremony in March. I mean, they have like a whole week planned out. Like that is going to be really awesome. They have a lot of celebrities coming in town. They're the judges. I mean, it's pretty awesome. The women in film, they're really doing their thing. I really appreciate them.
So that is something that I need to make sure I put on my calendar for March to at least be out
Yeah.
and seeing what's going on. So yes, that is yeah, that's just amazing. And you're definitely an inspiration. Like I said, I saw your stage play, I guess now that was in 2017. So and I thought it was just amazing. I knew Snoop and then I know years have passed, but I met you years ago through Snoop. I think it was some type of like dinner. We had all went out to eat at like Houlihan's. So I know
That was your okay. I know. Yeah, we had went after it was. We went to something
the
at the studio,
snowfall,
the Snowfall premiere,
the
and then after
snowfall premiere.
that, yeah, we did go and eat. Yeah, you're
Mhm.
right. Oh my God, yes. Okay, I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, we
So
sure. It was yes.
that was so amazing because That year I went to the American Black Film Festival in Miami and I got to see John Singleton speak. And right after I came back from that film festival, Snoop was like, "Hey, do you want to come to the Snowfall premiere they're having?" And the fact that, John Singleton passed after that, I felt so honored to be able to have saw him twice,
Hmm.
like, not too long before he passed. So yeah, and that was that was a really cool night, getting to eat with you all. I think at that point, I thought when I met you at that point, I thought that you were married because you were in a relationship at that point, and I guess you had someone with you.
I was on a date.
So I was just kind of like, okay, well, nice meeting you and your husband. I thought like you were married. So
And man, unfortunately, he didn't make the cut, but we're still friends. We're actually
okay.
look. He just texted me while we're here, so yeah,
Well,
we're still.
y'all looked cute together. Y'all looked adorable as all get out together. So
I'm gonna tell him you said that.
and that's the funniest thing. A lot of times it looks so good on paper, it looks so good on pictures. It just looks so beautiful.
Yeah,
And
but somehow things fall apart.
yeah, it's like if it's not right, it's not right. That's one thing I want to not do is try to force it because it looks right. Because a
It
lot,
looks right. Yeah, I don't want anything for us. Yeah,
yeah,
I totally I agree with you on that.
yeah. Because I know I've had people tell me like, yeah, but y'all both don't have kids and y'all both single. Y'all look good together, man. Y'all look good. Y'all make some pretty babies. What is like? People are just kind of like, why can't y'all just make it work? And
You don't
that's
want to force, like you said, you don't want to force anything.
yeah,
Yeah,
because it can look nice and you two can be miserable, but you come together and smile for pictures,
that's it.
but you're miserable. So
Miserable with that guy though. He was a really really good guy, and to this day he's a good guy. So
yeah.
I'm gonna tell. He's gonna laugh when I tell him that. He's gonna. He's not gonna believe me. So I'm gonna have to make sure that he watches this.
He's like, wait a minute, that lady,
He's gonna
that
like she that long ago. And I'm like, yeah, she remember.
yeah, I was just kind of like, oh, there's so I think okay, this is the funniest thing because we were there with another couple. I can't remember their names, but they're in film and they're married. Beautiful young lady and guy. I don't know why I can't remember their name. So they were a couple. Um, they actually just got married, I think, last year. She's taller. He's
Oh yeah, you're talking about okay. Yeah, you're talking about Dominique and Alexandria.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah, they.
are beautiful, and the wedding pictures were beautiful. But even like when we went out to eat, it's like okay, they were a couple.
Mhm.
You were with your guy, and y'all were a couple. I think I thought y'all were married.
Mhm.
Snoop was a couple. His wife wasn't there, but this was another person who was coupled up. I'm like, okay, here, me, old party of one,
Oh, don't worry about
messing up the thing.
that. Like, here I am. I'm the fifth wheel. I'm like, okay. So I'm definitely gonna be writing about something about the ex. You always have to be the extra person because you're single with your couple of friends. I'm like, but it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
like I'm the extra person a lot. And one thing that happens is people do couples trips and they're just kind of like, well, can't you just find some old random guy? Well, couples trips, a lot of times, if you're going to Jamaica somewhere, this is not just going to be like, okay, we just cool. You go back to your hotel room, I go
Right.
back to mine. It's like,
Not gonna-
you want me to find someone that I'm going to want to have sex with within
right. I told like that just recently happened to me over the weekend.
Mhm.
Um, we went for my best friend's dinner in Houston, and I'm like, okay, everybody's gonna have their guy, but I'm single, so I'm gonna have to go alone. But hey, it worked out. It worked out, and we had a grand time, and I had a ball, even though I was, even but I will say this, even when I was married, I traveled alone
Okay.
because my ex-husband wasn't the partying type or the fun guy,
Mhm.
and um he was very consumed with his work. So
Yeah.
he put work first, and then and it was so funny because we had posted some videos. I think we were, I don't know where we were. We were overseas somewhere.
Mhm.
And you know what all the comments said? Oh my God, I can't believe you're not at work. Like they couldn't
Mhm.
believe oh my God, he actually went somewhere with his wife. Like he was so consumed with work. So I would always be like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll go out with my friends alone. Like even if we went to Jamaica, Puerto Rico, wherever we would go, I would go alone. And I would feel so bad because I'm like, damn, I'm alone and I'm married.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't traveling just really wasn't his thing because he's like a workaholic. Like he literally works 7 days a week.
Yeah.
But at some point, you have to take time out for yourself. And
Yeah.
I used to like, you know what? This job is going to be the death of you because you're so consumed with this job that you don't take time out for anything else. Now,
Mhm.
in the dating phase, yeah,
Mhm.
he took time out. But once we got married, it was like work, 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 work. So
That is a big thing because I feel like, now we're at an age. I mean, once you date outside of like being very young, you know what you want. And a lot of times those conversations happen to where you almost feel like we've made an agreement because I'm marrying you because we're compatible. And then once you get married, it's just kind of like, wait a minute, no, dude, you breached the contract here.
yeah. So yeah, oh, I just can't wait to start writing this series so that people can really know. I think I think what happened is once they see this series, they're gonna want to go back and watch that movie and be like, okay, now I see why I see what actually happened. 'Cause of course I have to give people the build up to let them know exactly how it started and what happened because like I said, I left some important pieces of that film out. Even while we were filming, it was some things we had to cut. We were like, okay, we can't, we were Xing out the script as we were filming, like, and it were some important things, but we made it, we got to tell the story still, but it
Yeah.
was a lot more to the story.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, that is the thing. It's like with someone told me that when there's a film, the story is told three different times. It's told when you're writing it, it's told when it's being filmed, and then it's told again, when it's being edited, you know?
Mhm.
And so it's like when you're writing that and looking at the script, it's like once from script to it being edited, it's like it can be a lot different of a story. It's like repackaged kind of. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm trying to think about what else I possibly want to ask. Okay, so why Women Trip the series? I know you don't have anything set in stone.
Right.
What do you see as how would it where do you see it as like a web series? Do you see it as something that would I don't know if Tubi have series. How do you see that coming to an audience?
So that's what I'm going to work on because
Okay.
I tell a lot of people that they have put their series on YouTube,
Hmm.
and because here's my thing, whatever I do, I'm not in it for the money.
Mm.
So whether I'm getting paid or not, I want to genuinely tell a story. That's what I'm about. So if I had to put Facebook, wherever I need to put it at, I'm going to make sure that it gets out to the masses. So
Yeah.
I'm doing my research just to find out exactly because I know I mean, right now there's so many different streaming platforms that I know I can find somebody that can
Yes.
help me out. So, but I'm definitely gonna be doing my research here within the next couple weeks and
Mhm.
figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna definitely make that happen.
Yeah, and I think the fact that you've made it clear that you're wanting to get this story out there because this can help a lot of people. I hope that this can be something that make men and women understand each other a little bit more when they're watching it. But I think because you've made it clear, like, hey, I want this story to get out there, that's when people become blessed and the money does come.
Oh
when
yeah.
you're doing it all, for the right reason, to get those stories out there. People need stuff that's relatable, because I think a lot of times people feel like I'm the only one going through this. I'm the only one who can't get it right or whatever. And it's not about us not getting it right. It's just, it's hard finding another human being to live life with you. That is a big thing. So it's a
It
hard thing to make happen,
is. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think that I've asked a lot of questions, and I feel like we've had an amazing discussion. So I thank you so much for being here with us. Where can people follow you on social media?
So I am Torie Lee on Facebook. I think I have like maybe three Torie Lee pages. I don't know. I ran out of friends on one, so I started another one. And so Torie Lee on Facebook, and then on Instagram. And I'm trying to do the TikTok thing. I'm like not, but I'm Torie Lee on TikTok, but I haven't posted there yet. I need to learn how to do that. I have to catch up. It's like I'm so far behind. But yeah, so those three platforms: TikTok, Torie Lee, Facebook is Torie Lee, and Instagram is Torie Lee.
Okay, and I'll put that all in the description box. I'll also put in the description box the links for you guys to watch Why Women Trip. You definitely do not want to miss this film. And like I said, don't just watch it once, watch it several times, and then also tell your
Hello,
friends, family.
friend.
Yeah,
Hi.
tell people to watch this film. This is how we support independent filmmakers, how we support Black women in film. So get out there and watch it. So I think that is all that I have for you guys right now. Again, like this video, share this video, get down in the comments, hit the notification bell to be notified every time I post a video. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye
All
bye.
right. Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us.
Huh? Thank you for having me.